This is kind of insane. We already have extremely capable AI systems that are fast, affordable, and increasingly open. DeepSeek Flash is a great example on the lightweight side. But now the open frontier models are becoming much more serious competition for companies like OpenAI and Anthropic. One of the most interesting examples is Qwen 3.8 Max. Depending on the setup, it can be dramatically cheaper than comparable frontier systems, potentially 5 to 10 times cheaper, while still offering a surprisingly powerful set of capabilities. What makes it even more interesting is that this isn't just a text model. It can work with multiple types of information, giving it both visual and audio capabilities, along with a 1 million token context window. But the feature that really caught my attention is its ability to handle agentic workflows. The model has been demonstrated working independently for extended periods of time, meaning you can give it a complex objective and let it continue working while you focus on something else. That's an incredible productivity proposition. The goal isn't to have AI doing anything shady or attacking other systems. It's about giving you a digital worker that can keep making progress while you get on with your life. And the duration is where things become especially impressive. Many AI systems can operate independently for minutes or perhaps a few hours before they need human intervention. But this system has demonstrated something on a completely different scale: 16 days of autonomous work. Starting with an empty folder, it was able to write code, test it, identify problems, repair its own implementation, and continue working. It can even reproduce research papers and make meaningful improvements to them. That's a completely different way of thinking about AI agents. The same capabilities extend beyond research. These models can build websites, create applications, and handle complex development tasks with surprisingly little supervision. Combine that with relatively low API pricing, and the economics become extremely interesting. If these models continue improving while keeping costs this low, they could put serious pressure on other AI companies to reduce their prices as well. And there is another important detail. The team has also committed to releasing the model weights, which could make this even more valuable for the OpenAI ecosystem. Of course, there's one obvious problem. The full model is enormous, so most people aren't going to run it locally on a normal computer. But that's where the smaller models become much more important. There are several other versions in the lineup, including the earlier Qwen 3.6 models with 27 and 35 billion parameters. These smaller systems have already earned a strong reputation and remain extremely capable, despite being older than the latest frontier models. I like to think of them as the Toyota Corolla of AI. They might not be the biggest or most exciting models on the market, but they're reliable, practical, and accessible to people without massive computing resources. And for most users, that's probably more important than having the absolute largest model available. A smaller open model that you can actually run and use every day could become your personal AI workhorse. There's also another metric I think is worth watching: humanity's last exam. Benchmarks aren't perfect, and some can be optimized for or even unintentionally gamed, so you have to be careful when interpreting them. But this one is particularly interesting because it was designed to be extremely difficult, with questions covering advanced academic knowledge. When the benchmark first appeared, some of the strongest billion-dollar closed AI systems were scoring only around 2%. Just a little over a year later, an open model has managed to score above 50%. That's an enormous jump in such a short period of time. And this is exactly why benchmarks like this are worth following. They can give us another perspective on how quickly real-world AI capabilities are improving. And honestly, we're living through a pretty remarkable period for OpenAI. Every few weeks, we're seeing new models, new capabilities, and new tools becoming available to researchers and developers who previously couldn't afford this level of technology. The combination of powerful open models, lower costs, and increasingly capable AI agents is creating an ecosystem that would have sounded almost impossible a few years ago. And that's also why access to computing matters so much. I use Lambda to reproduce AI research papers, often in just minutes. It's also useful for training your own models, fine-tuning existing ones, running inference, and experimenting with text-to-image or video models. You can even run your own DeepSeek chatbot or AI agent on powerful NVIDIA GPUs without having to build the entire infrastructure yourself. I can test an idea from a research paper, launch the experiment, and get results moments later. That's the kind of workflow that makes this era of OpenAI so exciting.